Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. DBougie86 here again, and welcome back to that time of the year again, guys. It is right, brand new 31 Days of Horror coming to you live. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. Yeah, this is a interesting aspect. I know I haven't really been posting a lot of videos on my channel lately. I keep saying that, there is no excuse, but life gets in the way, and a lot of my other adventures, like having 5 podcasts now, have kind of stopped that in a way where it's like, yeah, it happens, But, I'm trying to get back into this very slowly, and I do miss YouTube in a sense. It's just trying to schedule, and sometimes I'm doing shows on weekdays, and then weekends I'm usually doing shows every other weekend, so it's kind of like that hectic. But I'm gonna pull through with this. I actually was maybe gonna take a break this year from doing this, but I'm like, I miss doing this, and I never missed a year yet, and I'm not gonna let my crazy life in the new world that we live in stop me. And I'm gonna try to do some videos for you guys this year, especially now. This is a better time than ever to get back into talking to you guys and doing reviews this way, because it's been a while since I actually did a review like this. So let's just stop and get into it. For day one, I actually chose a film that I actually have seen before. It's actually I usually try to do like things I haven't seen before, mixed with some old favorites. But this one I actually have seen before, in that aspect where it's just a film I always wanted to do a review on. And I think it's a good one to open up for day one. And, I actually just checked it out again. And, like, you know what? I want to do a review on this movie because it's a movie that I actually really dig. And, it goes by a few titles. Of course, the DVD I have of it is going by its U.S. title, known as Final Prayer, but it's also known as the Borderlands. That's actually its original title in the U.K., and I actually like the Borderlands a little bit better as a title. Final Prayer, it kind of makes sense in the aspect of what's going on in the movie, but I kind of like, well, especially what this movie turns into, it kind of makes more sense in that sense. But I'll get a little bit more into that in a minute. But so pretty much what the Final Prayer, aka the Borderlands, is about is it's a found footage film about these two investigators who are documenting their investigation, where they're investigating like this strange occurrences that have been happening at this church. They had footage sent to them, and they're trying to see if that footage is real or not by themselves, by investigating. And pretty much what happens throughout the movie is their beliefs start to get tested. They end up, being to the end of it, to being non-believers in a sense, to being full believers to the very dreary end of this movie. I'm not going to spoil the end of this movie for you, because it's a movie that you do have to kind of digest, especially after you've seen the end. In my opinion, this movie is better on rewatch. It's definitely not a one-watch pony in that sense, where you need to see it in multiple viewings to see the gist of what's going on within the film and the message of the film. Now, it is a found footage movie, but it's also one of my other favorite types of movies in the world. And this movie explores folk horror in a way where it's crazy that folk horror is something that you would not think a found footage movie would work for, but it does in this sense. This is actually very well grounded in the way of folk horror, especially with its grueling end of it. It goes into the depths of the rituals of what's going on within the film. What I like about this film is how the characters change as the film progresses, and you could see the terror in their eyes, especially once what happens at the end, and they believe. That's all I could say, but it's too late in that sense. It's well, yeah. I'm trying to dance around it because of what happens. It's kind of fucking awesome and dark and fucked up. But yeah, this is a movie that, wow. I will admit it is a very slow burn found footage film. There is a lot of aspects of it where it's just two guys getting to know each other, you know, that typical setup of a found footage film, which, if you're not a fan of found footage, I could see a lot of people not digging this one as much. But in the aspect of it being found footage, I kind of like that aspect because you get to know these two guys, and plus the third character later on that comes and goes in the movie, which I do like, and I like the interactions with the townsfolk, how you see the townspeople change as well with these two guys as the movie progresses in that aspect. It's a really great movie in my opinion. I really dig the fuck out of the Borderlands, aka Final Prayer. It's up there. It's, you know, if I ever did a folk horror top 10 list, this would definitely be on there. I don't know where though it would be, but it definitely would be on my top 10 list of the folk horror. And I think it's great, especially if you're a fan of found footage, which I used to not be a fan of found footage growing up and stuff. It's just I like a lot of like natural ones like this one, you know, more like the documentary, mockumentary found footage films are the ones I actually really like. It's the more aspect of, you know, let's just say this, Paranormal Activity, the first time I seen that, I'm like, it's just two people sleeping in a bed for most of the movie. But a few occurrences happened, yes, I'll admit. But I was like, it was just long pans of them sleeping in beds where I'm like, okay, this could have been cut down a little too much, you know? Like, even though that film is short, it's like, you could have added like another jump scare there instead of showing another bed sleeping scene, you know? It's just that aspect of that movie where it's like, and and I can't, because I actually do like some of the sequels a little bit more than the first Paranormal Activity. It's just when I actually haven't revisited it lately either, and you know, I'm curious how that one would be on rewatch for me, personally, myself. But yeah, the Final Prayer, aka the Borderlands, I dig it. You know, actually, I'm grown into a big found footage fan, and this is actually one of the films that kind of got me to appreciate found footage a little bit more. There was a few others, like actually my favorite found footage film of all time is Wreck. I love Wreck with a passion. It's the perfect found footage film for me, and you know, this one's a little bit different than Wreck. In that sense, it's more of a slow burn, atmospheric piece where you're getting little hints of what's going to happen within the story, but then the reveal at the end makes it all the better, in my opinion. So, with that being said, I'm going to give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. You know, I would go higher, but I'm just thinking of more of the audience itself. You know, it's definitely one that's going to have mixed reactions within it, especially with like the slow burn atmosphere of the movie. And with that being said, I do dig the fuck out of this. You know, if I was giving this a personal rating, it would be like a 9 or a 9.5. But I always, when I do these videos now, I always try to think of other viewers in that sense. So I put a little bit more of the scale into that. With certain movies, you know, if it was a starting video movie, that would be a totally different score. But yeah, Final Prayer, 8.5 out of 10. I really dig the fuck out of it. Check it out. All right, guys, that's it for day one. Hope you enjoyed it. I know this video is a little bit longer than usual. They'll be breezier as they go on, but hope you enjoyed it, and see you in day two. Peace.